Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Lagos. Here's a reminder of our major stories. The President again is absent from the Federal Executive Council meeting. Minister of Information says the President has been transparent about his health status. More trouble for the suspended SGF as Senate committee opens another can of worms, says Babachir Lawal spent 530 million naira on grass cutting in Yobe State. Customs boss meets House of Representatives committee, complains of inability to implement federal government policies on revenue collection. And South African president unruffled after being booed off stage at a rally in Bloemfontein. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our websites channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on any mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. A reminder here that having the Channels TV and Channel 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Here's how. Install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news or happenings around you. And some Eyewitness photos sent into our portal. We begin with this one tonight. It's from Wuye in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. It shows this shots of protesters. According to our Eyewitness reporter, they are agro dealers protesting non-payment of money owed them by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture for the 2014 wet season farming. Our next image is from Warri in Delta State, showing bent electricity poles, which our Eyewitness reporter says are rotten. He calls the attention of the Benin City Electricity Distribution Company to fix this to forestall a life-threatening incident. A final photo tonight is from Aba Port Harcourt Road in Rivers State. It shows the bad shape of the road there. Our Eyewitness reporter is calling the attention of the federal government to fix it in order to ease movement. Thank you for those pictures, and please keep them coming. It's been a sad day for the people of Ajapa, a riverine community in Ondo State, where reports say the military have allegedly burnt down several houses in what they call a mop-up exercise. On Monday, military operatives from Operation Safe Delta engaged militants in a gun duel at Ajapa Creek in Eshodo area, killing the leader, Ossi Ibori, and 15 members of the group, with casualties also on the side of the military. Confirming the incident, the Commissioner of Police in Ondo State, Hilda Ibifuro Harrison, told Channels Television on the telephone that she is not aware of burning down of houses, but the military went to the community for a mop-up operation. In the meantime, vice chancellors of Nigeria's public and private universities have been challenged to develop curricula which will adapt to current and future trends to position the country well in global race to the top. The position was put forward when leading academics and officials in the nation's education sector convened at the first annual National Universities Commission lecture series at the NUC headquarters in Abuja. Our correspondent, Ajiri Ngalali, reports.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo adds his voice to calls for the prioritization of innovation in the development of university curricula to give the Nigerian graduate a chance to compete in a knowledge-driven global economy. The former president asserts that Nigerians must not settle to merely join the global race to the top, but rather prepare to win it.
In a dynamic society, in a dynamic situation, is that the curriculum must be innovated, invigorated, re-engineered, and be made dynamic.
For example, we have
How to turn intention into reality is the focus of experts who say that while insufficient resources, corruption and inadequate practical infrastructure to equip students militates against the pursuit of innovation in tertiary institutions, dynamic teachers can make up lost ground.
So the lecturer has been given this, he has transformed this into his or her course outline, and he goes on to take the thing. At the end of a long day, when the course is over, what the students take out finally is the achieved curriculum.
Former Vice Chancellor Crawford.
Vice Chancellors present say that adaptive curricula must tally with local advantages and realities.
We are in the heart of the Niger Delta with so much ecological challenge. We do have programs that are this dynamic in areas of ecological studies and management. Universities are supposed to now build in their peculiarities into their curriculum to fit in with the context in which the university is located.
Well, thank you very much. Pro-Chancellor.
As academicians pursue consensus to forge ahead, Nigerian students abroad prove that when given support, they are among the best in the world. Ajuri Ngilale, Channels Television News.
And here's Malpe Ogun in Abuja. She's got more on the news at 10. Hi, Malpe.
Thank you, and hello, Amarachi. Now, the European Union Security Attaché, Mr. Uwe Brettschneider, has called for better legislation and enforcement to curb the activities of drug traffickers in the country. At a meeting in Abuja, Mr. Brettschneider explained that the upsurge in the activities of drug cartel calls for stiffer penalties and regular monitoring of the activities.
Globally, the trade in cocaine and other illicit drugs is said to be thriving. A report from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime shows that for over 2 years, an estimated 22 tons of cocaine was seized en route South Africa via West Africa to Europe. How to check this trend is what informed this gathering.
The acting chairman of EFCC.
Experts from security and international agencies brainstorm on how to reduce drug trafficking.
In the last 2 years, over 22 tons of cocaine were seized en route from South America via West Africa to Europe in different countries. Despite this impressive amount, the route is far from drying up, and our continuous, even harder and joint efforts are needed to keep drug trafficking at bay.
In Nigeria, the situation is not any different. An official from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency gives a breakdown of seizures of cocaine made between 2006 and 2015.
Between 2006 and 2015, the agency has made a seizure of about 17,612.94 kilograms of cocaine. So this tells you the magnitude of the problem.
With a total budget of...
An official of the European Union thinks adequate legislation and enforcement will help reduce the numbers of drugs trafficked into the country.
We firmly believe that tough measures have to be taken against drug traffickers. The project Response to Drugs and Related Organized Crime in Nigeria has 3 main objectives. First, to support policy formulation and improve drug legislation in coordination at the sector.
Drug trafficking knows no border, and therefore checking the menace requires synergy by all.
Now, it's a related worry for the Northern Governors' Wives Forum, which is concerned over what it describes as a rising profile of substance abuse among young people in northern Nigeria. Kaduna, Kano, and Borno are some of the states in the region the group identifies as having high numbers of young people abusing drugs. The forum is urging its members to champion the advocacy to eradicate substance abuse in the region.
Call on the representative of the chairman.
Wives of governors from the 19 northern states, the representative of the wife of President Muhammadu Buhari, and the wives of some lawmakers from the region are in this hall to deliberate on how to tackle drug abuse in the region. Although there is no specific data on drug abuse in Nigeria, the chairperson of the forum, Mrs. Asamao Yari, identifies substance abuse among young people as a major problem that the region is grappling with.
But we need your help. We have to come out and say, yes, this is a problem in the north. We have to come out and say, yes, let's do something about it.
According to the United Nations, an estimated 246 million people globally abuse drugs. 5% of these figures are between the ages of 15 and 64. The representative of the wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, emphasizes the need to tackle the menace of drug abuse among young people from homes and in the schools.
If the teachers in schools can have some classes that can bring out the dangers of this abnormal use of drugs, because abuse is abnormal use. If you don't know the normal use and you don't know that there is an abnormal use of something, abuse means abnormal use.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is urging the forum to influence lawmakers to make laws that will make treatment available for drug users while rejecting attempts to legalize cannabis.
Every state has its own peculiarities, and in Nigeria, it is cannabis that is the first drug of abuse and the most abused drug, and therefore we must fight against every attempt by any government, by anybody, to legalize cannabis in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, because it will have a multiplier effect on our country.
The 2015 United Nations Drug Report reveals that 1 out of 3 drug users globally is a woman. It also says that women face serious barrier to treatment, as only 1 out of 5 drug users treated is a woman.
An official of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mr. Christian Nwosu, who was convicted last week of taking bribe to influence the 2015 elections, has withdrawn his plea bargain. Mr. Nwosu withdrew the plea bargain agreement he had with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Wednesday, 6 days after Justice Mohammed Idris of the Federal High Court in Lagos rejected the deal. Now, based on the plea bargain, Mr. Nwosu had pleaded guilty and was convicted for accepting 30 million naira from a 264.8 million naira bribe allegedly offered by former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Desiani Alison Madueke. When he was brought before Justice Idris on April 27, the EFCC informed the judge of the plea bargain. The case is now being transferred to another judge. Now, when the News at 10 returns, staff of ExxonMobil begin a 3-day warning strike in solidarity with colleagues who've been laid off. To join us again.